By now titled The Longest Journey is a bit ironic, given how long it took to bring the story to the conclusion. But after so many years in a successful Kickstarter, Dreamfall Chapters is complete as the final part of the story, of sorts. So let's get one thing out of the way first. Both The Longest Journey and Dreamfall were flawed games, parts of which didn't age well and parts of which weren't that good in the first place, yet they still remain one of the most magical and amazing stories in video games and are definitely worth playing. I'd say it's vital that you start the story from the beginning to truly understand what Dreamfall Chapters is about. The world, the story and the characters are still the strongest points of the game, like in previous ones. The scenario sometimes misses a bit and stumbles, but is mostly perfect at making you feel. The game is darker, but it almost never becomes cheap or cheesy and handles the topics and themes carefully and smartly. And returning to the worlds of Stark and Arcadia, seeing the old characters and bringing the whole story to the very well done conclusion is a real joy. And the visuals remain amazing too. From the artistic point, Longest Journey games always looked amazing, and Dreamfall Chapters continue to awe the players with its beautiful cities of magic or cyberpunk, its sunny places filled with hope and dark places filled with dread and mystery. And the soundtrack and voice acting are always there to add layers of believability and charisma to what you see. All that said, the game does show its lower budget roots and more often and more obviously than I hope it would. Be it really crappy animations for rarely used actions or simple and very obvious not use of voice actors for secondary characters from other books to save time and money, you can feel that the game was trying its best to look and feel very good, but had to cut corners more than once. And the whole episodic structure that was also most likely chosen for budgetary concerns hurts the story a bit. The game has many parts that feel longer than they should, and some parts that feel like they could have been better in a different part of the story, but were chosen to be where they were just to be in the same book. I do hope that as the opening bit of the game that was redone to be better and shorter after a year, the developers will return and rethink some other parts of the game to make it better. What would also make it better is the removal of the visible choice structure. I do understand that Telltales will remember this concept helps to give the illusion that you're really influencing the story, but it also changes how you perceive it, especially since Dreamfall Chapters additionally breaks all choices down even more. This makes this amazing story feel less of a story and more of a choice flowchart that hurts the experience and is genuinely not needed. Especially since some of the things about the game, including choices, still seem a bit bugged. The game had a lot of updates and it crashed only once for me in its current version, but there are still issues, most notable of which is how stuttery all the huge areas are, despite all the changes and optimization. No matter what hardware you play it on, you will see a lot of slowdowns, so just prepare to try to enjoy the game despite that. And despite the fact that gameplay puzzle bits are pretty bad more often than not. Despite having less emphasis on inventory management than before, Dreamfall Chapters managed to turn most of its puzzles into chores, with several of them being pixel hunting quests for no good reason. It's another thing that prolongs and bogs down some parts of the game, especially the first 3 books, and it would be great to see it gone. And in the end, I get the similar situation as with the previous 2 games. I want to say it's simply good, but it touched me really deep, made me feel, inspired me, and I can't stop thinking about it now that the whole saga is done. There are many other stories that can be told in this world, of course. It's beautiful in how imaginative it is. But should this one be the final told to us, with all others being created in our heads after this one is done, I'm fine with it. It's not the best way this Longest Journey could have came to the conclusion, but it's a really, really good one.